Hey there, listeners. Welcome back to Red Hunt, your go-to destination for captivating relationship stories from Reddit. I'm your host, Red, and today we unravel another tale of love, heartbreak, and everything in between, so sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of our relationships. IDOWorkHereLady, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to join our community and stay updated with new stories. Every week, I don't know who to believe, boyfriend or best friend. I, 20, have been in a relationship with my boyfriend, 21, for 2 years and have known my best friend, 21, for 3 years. I don't even know where to start. I've been crying all morning. We all met in college and recently graduated. I love my boyfriend. He's sweet, thoughtful, and always there for me. I love my best friend too. She has never let me down. But now I'm torn between the two and I'm seriously confused. For context, we have a large friend group and we often meet up. Today we all decided to go to our friend Ashley's birthday party. She lives in a decently sized house with her boyfriend Daniel. She invited most of our college friends, and some of our college friends invited their own friends. In summary, it was a packed party. Like any party or night out, I got ready with my best friend Catherine and agreed to meet my boyfriend Lee there. We arrived at the party, I went to wish Ashley a happy birthday in the kitchen, and I lost Catherine in the crowd. Either she went to chat with someone or I just didn't see her. This is nothing out of the ordinary. Catherine was busy welcoming people, so I decided to help her with the cake she baked. As I decorated the cake, Catherine's boyfriend Daniel came in looking upset. I asked him what happened and he told me he saw Lee and Catherine go upstairs together. At first, I didn't think much of it since they're good friends. But after realizing what Daniel was implying, I started to panic. I know I should have checked what was going on right then and there, but I didn't want to cause a scene at Ashley's birthday. I also didn't want to believe that the two people I trust the most would do anything to upset me. After about 20 minutes with no sign of Catherine or my boyfriend, I started stressing again. Then I saw Lee stumble into the kitchen. He came over and kissed me as if nothing had happened. Shortly after, Catherine came into the room. I decided not to question it until after the birthday. Unfortunately, the party lasted until 3 a.m., and the whole time my gut feeling was telling me something was wrong. After everyone left, it was just the 5 of us. Me, my boyfriend, Ashley, Catherine, and Daniel. Daniel's mom had cheated on his dad in the past, so he is sensitive to the topic. He directly asked Lee and Catherine why they went upstairs together, and both of their faces changed. Then Catherine blurted out that she went to find her crush Max, who happens to be friends with Lee, while Lee almost simultaneously said it was a lie, and that Catherine tried to force herself on him after mentioning I was upstairs. I asked Lee why he didn't tell me sooner, and he said he didn't want to ruin the party or my mood. Catherine jumped in and said it was a complete lie, and that Lee was acting weird and trying to lure her into the bedroom. This led to a yelling match between the two and I just tuned out. I didn't say anything, there was nothing for me to say. Ashley offered to drive me home and told the two to give me space. Now here I am, 4 hours later, wondering what to do. My boyfriend is texting and calling me non-stop, asking how I can believe my best friend over him. My best friend is doing the same, while also sending me audio notes of her crying through her words. What should I do? I can't even imagine how confused and hurt you must be right now. It's really hard to say who's telling the truth when both sides have such different stories. Take some time for yourself and try to process everything before making any decisions. Am I the antagonist for refusing to let my mother-in-law be at my wedding? My boyfriend and I have been discussing marriage for about a year. We're currently living together and we have a baby daughter. However, we haven't gotten engaged yet because we want to sort out a few things and be completely ready for the commitment. One of the obstacles preventing us from moving forward is his mom. While we used to get along, she has become incredibly toxic and vindictive, leading me to cut off contact with her over a year ago. My family strongly dislikes her, and for various reasons, we don't allow her near our daughter. My boyfriend claims to have limited contact with her, but in my opinion, they still talk quite often. My boyfriend really wants his mom to be at our wedding, but I strongly disagree. He argues that it's unfair for me to share life experiences with my mom, while he can't do the same with his. The thing is, she's, to put it mildly, terrible. Every time my boyfriend tells me stories about her from his childhood, she seems to become even worse in my eyes. I express my disbelief and point out how wrong her behavior was, but he just looks confused and says, "Really? I thought that was normal." It truly breaks my heart to learn about all the things he experienced in his life that he believes are normal because she treated him poorly. I've tried to persuade him to cut off contact with her and explained how much it's hurting us, but he doesn't listen. We've made sure she isn't involved in our daughter's life because of her actions and the awful things she said about me during my pregnancy. She accused me of cheating, claimed the baby wasn't my boyfriend's, spread STD rumors, called the police on me twice for abuse, tried to convince my boyfriend to leave me and take our daughter to live with her, alleged I would harm our daughter due to postpartum depression, slandered my ability to be a good mother, and more. Given all these reasons, I've made up my mind that I do not want her at our wedding. I don't want to spend the entire day worrying about what she might say or do, or if she'll ruin everything. She's the type of person who would show up in a white gown to undermine the bride and then intentionally spill wine on the bride's dress to ruin it. Moreover, my family is well aware of her abusive and violent nature, so they all despise her. I am confident that it would result in a physical altercation between her and at least one of my family members. I don't want the day to be marred by fights or negativity. I understand my boyfriend's perspective, and I genuinely feel sad for him that his mother is the way she is. I know he's envious of my relationship with my mom, and it makes me feel terrible. I truly wish it could work out for her to be at our wedding and for her to have a relationship with our daughter, but it simply cannot happen. So I firmly stated that she is not invited and my decision is final. This led to my boyfriend becoming upset and telling me to drop the subject. Did I go too far? Am I being unreasonable? Honestly, I think you made the right call. Your boyfriend might be blinded by his desire to have a normal relationship with his mom, but it's clear from her past actions that she's toxic and could potentially ruin your special day. Your main priority should be your daughter's well-being and creating a safe environment for her, so excluding his mom seems like the best decision for now. Am I the antagonist for leaving my neighbor's garbage bag filled with dirty clothes and other crap in the rain because they put it in my garbage can without asking? Hey Reddit! This is my first post, so apologies if this is too wordy or I'm not doing this right. I live in a small apartment complex, right next to a busy road with the parking lot in between the road and the complex. Everyone in the building pretty much keeps to themselves and no one likes to bother anyone unless there is a major issue. If there was something small that people needed to be notified of or a question someone needed to ask, my neighbors would just come and knock on my door and ask their question. No biggie. I'm not opposed to conversing with my neighbors and I try to be nice when I can. Blowing leaves out of the way of my neighbors' doors, lending my extension cord and power to help some guys fix our mailboxes after somebody hit them, etc. My apartment is on the corner of the building and the building itself is U-shaped. I have a tiny fenced-in patio, no gate, and I keep my garbage can next to my fence out of view from the main road. A couple nights ago, Friday, I came home to see someone was throwing away a washer-dryer as it was, out on the side of the main road along with a large garbage bag and some plastic and wood pieces. Someone came by that night and picked up the washer-dryer but left the bag and the wood plastic bits. The leftovers were still there Saturday morning due to it probably not being in a garbage can. Today, I came home to see what looked like my garbage can, which had been pulled towards the front of the building, placed close to my designated parking space. This was odd as garbage days are Wednesday and Saturday mornings. My garbage can looks a little different than the others, and it is pretty recognizable to me. Well, I go investigate and the garbage can is filled almost to the brim with the few plastic bits and the large bag that was on the road that did not get pipped. I walked over to where I keep my garbage can, and it's not in its spot. So it's definitely my can that was moved and filled up with not my garbage, without permission. This pissed me off as it is still 3 days before the garbage gets picked up and now I had no space to throw away my own garbage. So I decided to take the random bag of garbage out of my can and I ended up filling my can up with my own garbage as I was already planning on making today a cleaning day and getting rid of some miscellaneous crap I had lying around plus my already filled garbage bag from inside my apartment. I also put my garbage can back in its spot as it is not garbage day yet. Well, it was a somewhat rainy day today, and instead of leaving the big garbage bag by my door or somewhere else under cover, I decided I would place the bag back where I saw it last, by the main road in the rain. I kind of feel bad for doing this, but at the same time, all whoever did this needed to do was ask if they could use my garbage can, and I probably would have said yes. But that's not an option now as I have all of my garbage in my can for trash day. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Open to any questions. Hey, don't worry about it, your post is totally fine. It sounds like you have a decent relationship with your neighbors, and it's nice that you help out whenever you can. I can understand why you'd be annoyed about someone using your garbage can without permission and leaving their stuff in it, especially when it's not even garbage day. However, maybe instead of leaving the bag by the main road in the rain, you could have just talked to them and let them know how you felt. Just my 2 cents. Am I the antagonist for refusing my daughter name her newborn after my brother? My daughter recently announced her second pregnancy to the whole family, and we were all delighted as she has been struggling since her first one. When I was 21, my brother died at the age of 27. My mom was always very career-oriented. We own a family business, and my brother was supposed to take it over. However, after his accident, my mom quickly removed his name from all official papers, sold or gave away his belongings, and appointed me as her successor. I was angry at her for lacking empathy, and at my dad for not saying anything about his son's memory being disregarded. Despite my anger, I remained silent. I got married to Jenna, who was a good friend and provided support during the difficult times when my brother's absence was unbearable. We had 3 beautiful daughters before we amicably divorced. We still maintain a friendship to this day. Later, I remarried Sam upon my mother's advice. We had children together, and she took over the family business since she was better suited for it. Although I never talk about my brother, everyone knows about him because I struggle to cope with his loss. I understand that I am at fault for not wanting to stop grieving, but I don't know how to handle the loss either way. Helen, my daughter, is fixated on giving her son the same name as my brother, not because she wants to honor him, as she never knew him, but simply because she thinks the name is pretty and unique. Jenna advised Helen against this decision, suggesting that there are plenty of other beautiful names to choose from. But despite knowing how painful it is for me, Helen is making it personal. Sam is on her side, considering me irrational and stupid, and treats me as if I am crazy. She believes I have no say in how Helen raises her children. Although I understand her point, I find their behavior cruel and the rationale behind it to be senseless. I could understand if Helen had some personal connection to my brother, but it's simply about a name she finds aesthetically pleasing. Am I crazy for refusing to allow her to use a name that holds so much meaning and painful memories for me, for such a superficial reason? When I confronted her, she dismissed my concerns, claiming that after so long it doesn't make sense to associate his name with painful memories. She believes it would be better to create new memories with her child instead. I fail to comprehend how giving his name to someone else will erase the pain of losing him. People grieve in different ways, and I have never been one to openly discuss it. But just this once, I would like them to let me be. Helen accused me of being self-centered, as everyone else finds the name beautiful, and she believes I'm making it all about me. She and Sam refuse to acknowledge the genuineness of my pain. Now, they have joined forces and have been trying to persuade my other children to convince me to change my mind. I feel trapped, and besides Jenna, nobody is making an effort to understand my perspective. I have harbored resentment toward my mom my entire life for her actions, and now my own family is dismissive about my brother's death. Am I the asshole in this situation? It makes sense that you would feel hurt and upset when someone wants to use your late brother's name, without any regard for the pain it brings you. Your feelings are valid, and it's disappointing that your new wife and daughter don't seem to understand or empathize with your perspective. It's important for your family to recognize and respect your grief, even if they don't fully understand it. GF's ex sent me a message that changed everything. I have been in a relationship with my girlfriend for 3 years. We have a strong and enjoyable relationship, including a satisfying sexual aspect. We have been making plans for the future, intending to get married in 2 years. We have had great experiences together, and I was planning to propose to her next month. However, everything changed yesterday. I was at home when I received messages on Facebook from one of her previous partners. I am unsure how he found my profile, but he messaged me, saying that she would leave me and return to him. I opened the messages and left them without responding. After 30 minutes, he sent another message, this time with photos and a video. The video showed them engaging in intimate activities. She was behaving differently, speaking differently, and participating in acts that she claims she disliked when I attempted them, such as roughness, slapping, and using certain terms of endearment. The worst part was that she appeared to be experiencing more pleasure and expressing desire for his physical attributes, which seemed to be above average. It made me feel inadequate. The photo included their conversation, where she spoke differently and expressed her anticipation for future sexual encounters, despite any discomfort it may cause her. She referred to him with affectionate names and emphasized her willingness to fulfill his desires. Additionally, she sent him explicit images without him requesting them, and he did not respond much to her texts. However, she would persistently send him multiple messages in a row. Upon watching all of this, I felt numb. I sat there, turned off my phone, and contemplated everything. I compared our sexual experiences to what I witnessed in the video and questioned why she would do everything with him but deny me. She praised him and made comments about my size, which made me feel inadequate as a man. After approximately 3 hours, she returned home from work and immediately noticed something was wrong. She repeatedly asked what had happened and why I had turned off my phone. I simply replied that I was tired and needed to rest. She sensed that something was amiss and continued to inquire about it. Eventually, I handed her my phone and allowed her to see the messages and video. This made her extremely angry, and she began speaking negatively about her ex, describing how he mistreated her and how she would seek revenge on him. She also praised me, claiming that I was better than him in every aspect and that she had been disloyal to me. I listened silently as she spoke. When she asked for a response, I questioned whether everything she had previously said about being satisfied with me and our sexual relationship was a lie. She denied it and became increasingly angry. She blamed her past actions on her youth and changes in preferences, stating that she no longer desires those things and that I am superior in bed and treat her well. In that moment, I merely repeated the thoughts that were running through my mind and informed her that I needed time to think. She continued speaking, expressing her belief that I was throwing everything away, and then she left. Afterward, I consumed some drinks and went to bed. I woke up to numerous missed calls from her and her friends, along with voice messages pleading for me to respond. I simply cannot view things the same way again. Even if we were to reconcile, I doubt I would have any desire for sexual intimacy. Finally, if anyone knows of medical methods to increase size, such as pills or surgery, I would appreciate any information or suggestions. Dude, that's absolutely brutal. I can't even imagine how you must be feeling right now. It's understandable that you're having a hard time processing all of this. As for the medical stuff, I think it's best to focus on healing emotionally before considering any of that. Take some time for yourself and don't rush into making any decisions. My boyfriend of 1 year wants to stay with me despite repeated attempts to tell him he can't. How can I get him to take responsibility for his living situation? I am reposting this because the first one was removed due to lack of relationship length. My boyfriend of 1 year currently lives with his mom, 67, and brother, 23, in a family that has some issues. He has been gradually realizing this over the past year. He has been saving money to move out, but he is not able to afford it yet. Initially, we discussed him moving in with me, but I thought it wouldn't be good for our relationship since he still needs to learn some basic life skills. His plan was to get his own place with a roommate as soon as he could. Fast forward to this past Monday, he got into a physical altercation with his brother and punched him in the face. He is not usually a violent person, but his brother had been selling drugs out of their home and making life difficult for everyone. He called me right after the incident and came over to my place. I let him stay the night to cool off. However, I informed him that he couldn't stay with me full-time because my mom is currently staying with me and it wouldn't be fair to her. He understood and stayed with a friend on Tuesday and Wednesday. On Thursday evening, we had plans for dinner, and he stayed over afterward. He mentioned that he saw a cockroach in his friend's bathroom and didn't want to stay there anymore. I asked him about his plan, but he said he didn't know yet. On Friday, he stayed over again. On Saturday morning, he slept until 1 p.m., and I had to push him to get up and start his day. He got a haircut and went to the gym. When he returned, I talked to him about reaching out to his friends to see if anyone needs a roommate or has an available room. He admitted that he felt too ashamed to open up to his friends about what has been happening. I told him I understand, but it is necessary given the situation. He acknowledged his lack of action and apologized for putting the burden of his housing situation on me. However, things took a turn when he asked if he could cook and eat all of his meals at my place. I reminded him that he already cooks and eats here several times a week, but it cannot be an everyday occurrence. As I explained this, I noticed him zoning out and dissociating. This made me emotional, and I asked him why he continues to put me in the position of having to say no to him when I have already explained my reasons. This situation has been weighing heavily on me. It is difficult for me to focus on my own life and projects because a lot of my time and energy is spent worrying about him and supporting him. I need to find a way to make it clear to him that he needs to go home without being insensitive. If he doesn't take responsibility for his own life, I don't think our relationship can last much longer. It sounds like you've been really understanding and supportive of your boyfriend's situation, but it's important to set boundaries and take care of yourself too. It might be time to have a serious conversation with him about the fact that he needs to find a more permanent living situation and that you can't shoulder the responsibility indefinitely. It's understandable that you're feeling strained, and it's important to prioritize your own well-being. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.